Okay, Happy Horsham. Continuing our deeper dive into the marvels of Mr. Mark Knopfler here in Sultans. We've been doing this first. Excuse me. I have my bearings outside. So, what I want to do today is just do a little bit of a little version that I put together of that solo for you. That I think throws in a couple other techniques that he does later and does often, but not particularly in this solo. And some that he does that I really want to encourage, which is just the arpeggiation of those chords. That really gives his playing a really lyrical, beautiful, and identifiable style. Mark Knopfler can shred, he can do everything, but he just plays so beautifully lyrically. And so much of that stems from what we've talked about in other lessons and in the Zoom sessions about his arpeggiation of the chords. So here's one that I just put together, and out of an infinity of things that you can put together, but just to give you some ideas. This the chords, you're following the chords in this, which makes it really difficult, but then you guys wanted to do Sultans of Swing, which is an excellent teaching version, but it's an excellent teaching tool. But it has several different chords, not like just jamming on a single chord. There's a lot more involved in that, but it makes you think more, and that's really the purpose of what we're doing. So if you just hum silently to yourself or loudly to yourself, and the chords that he's playing for those are, as we talked about, he goes, then that arpeggio, back to the D minor, and then it comes to this, and back to, because back to the B flat and then to the A. So keep that in mind, and always keep that in mind when you're playing this, that you're playing against those chords. So we'll start off the same way to give a familiar territory. I'm just moving this D minor down here to this D minor up here at the fifth that we started, where you were starting before on string 3 at fret 12. That becomes, subtracting 5 from 12, that becomes string 2, fret 7. See, 3, fret 12 is the same as 2, fret 7. So he starts off on this D minor and goes, now that's what you did before. Now I'm going to arpeggiate an A chord up here, but I'm going to arpeggiate an A seventh, which is string 2, fret 8. I said fret 7 up here, it's fret 8, because we have that string 3, string 2 shift of 4 frets instead of 5 that you have everywhere else. So if you have any questions on that, it just lengthens too much to explain every little detail. If you have any questions, just email me on that. So he starts off, or we'll start off, same thing that you're playing here, but played to a string lower, 2 strings lower. And then he comes up to the A arpeggiations, and I want you to arpeggiate an A seventh chord, which is A, string 4, fret 7, string 3, fret 6, and outlining this A chord starting from string 4. That's all you're doing here in this arpeggiation. You have the first, A, the third, the fifth, A, C sharp, E. That's first, third, and fifth of the A chord. Then we're going to add the seventh, though, from this fifth, go down 3 frets, to string 2, fret 8, and then after the string 2 fret 8, which is the 7th, pick up, you start the arpeggiation again, which is A, but this time we're going to go to a C and not a C sharp, which signifies the change, and it also is the 7th of the D minor chord that we're going to. So let's just play that. Now on the arpeggiation. And that's where I'm going, right? With my pinky I'm using, which I recommend, this is the way you should finger it. And then right over the pinky I bring my ring finger and come back. And we're going to, as we talk so often, go out and then come back in virtually everything that you play. So I come and I bend this string 2 fret 8. I'm bending that up from the F to an A. Excuse me, from a G to an A. So I'm bending up string 2 fret 8, which is the same as bending string 3 fret 12 down here. Come back to string 2 fret 6, and then finish off on the D, which shouldn't be surprising because we're now on the D chord. So played through, it starts. So that's the first. That is what you're starting off down here, but played differently. This is a riff on his lead. So then the next thing he does is, or that I did, is so what I did, that is this portion right here. You have great leeway with this because you have 3 quick chords and then a 4th and then back to the 3rd, like 5 little quick chords there. And all I did was really go for something that sounded melodic here, that is going to end up on an A chord. See, that's where this thing ends up on the A chord. So that's your ultimate destination, and that's where I end up here on this A. And I wanted to move this up this way for you because we've been working down on this part of it, but let's see what you can explore up here to get if you were to take a lead against this. So I'm putting my ring finger on string 1 fret 8, and it's a C note, and then my index finger on string 1 fret 6, and I hit the string 1 fret, this C note at string 1 fret 8, and then I lift up and hit string 1 fret 6, and then come down, hammer on and pull up. And then I do the same move. I'm hitting string 1 fret 8, string 1 fret 6, and, excuse me, and then hammering on and pulling off, and then move my index finger to string 1 fret 5 and flick off, we just call that a flick off, which is what it is, from 5 and 6 on string 1. This is all on string 1 until we get to the end. And then do the same flick off with index on string 1 fret 3 to string 1 fret 5, string 1 fret 1 to string 1 fret 3, and then I form an A chord here. Any way that you want. I actually form it with. I won't drive you to anything there. because you're going to go right to that F. So here's what I did. I'll try to tap this for you. If you get ambitious, you can tap it for me. So start off with it. And all I'm doing is just arpeggiating through that chord once I get up to the A. Now you're going to come to, see, you've just played this part. And now the next chord that you go to, as you know, is F. That's there, here. And we're up to the F. And when I get to the F, I go. Now, that's just a very lyrical, where he's doing the, he's doing the bend. I made this purposely lyrical, which is something that you hear Mark Knopfler do throughout this song. Very, pretty singable, rather than the rock bendy stuff. So, and it's just an approach. It's just to encourage, so how many possibilities you have for this. So he goes, or I go. Excuse me. I'm just arpeggiating that F chord, same formation. This F chord from string 4, fret 3. I'm arpeggiating F, A, C, which is the same anywhere here. That's the first, the third, and the fifth of that major chord. And I come down and start the arpeggiation again on the F at string 1, fret 1. So he's goes. There's a little delay there. So I'm going. When I bring it up to this G, a ninth in this F chord. Somebody probably told you a ninth is really usually a pretty good choice. So you have. I hit this G, hit it, and then hit it and slide it. And then do a flick off from string 1, fret 5 to string 1, fret 3, which is G note. And then come down to this F with my ring finger. So we're here. And now I'm just going to go and get strings 2, 3, and 4 like this, which is a C chord, as you know. See, we're in the C portion here now. And now we're going to. That's the C chord right here. So I have a C up here, just showing you. We're just moving the same chord progression around to different shapes and forms. That's why it's a deep dive. You should really think about all this, where you are on this fretboard. That's an A chord that's moved down to the C. So at that point, and that's as far as I'm going to go for this. If you're set for it, next week I'll send you the video on finishing off this little thing that I'll probably change anyway. I change in the next 3 minutes. But so I'm just throwing out some ideas that'll make you think, where am I, what should I be doing, or what can I be doing, not should. So I played slowly, that is. So that's what I played. That's just mine. I'm sure Mark Knopfler arrives at something near when he riffs on this for hours. But it's a lyrical approach instead of the. See, from there he goes, as you know. That's where he gets sort of rocky, which is pretty, great. I love it. But purposely, I just made like a lyrical presentation of that, which I'm sure you can hear is the type of stuff that he does. And by the way, when we get through all this, or even right now, all these little riffs that we're playing right here are really work well in songs like Black Magic Woman. You can use these very same riffs, and maybe on the Zoom session the next time we do it, I'll just show that some of the things that we've already done that you can play against Santana, which once again shouldn't be surprising. Or you can play on a number of Doors songs like Riders on the Storm. And if you, I hope you actually like hear that. Oh yeah, I hear this as you're saying that. It doesn't mean the way they're playing it. It means that the way that you can play it, that would sound neat. I always think it's really cool when they get like at rock and roll inductions and things where you get a bunch of really great guitarists up and each one takes his own lick. What's really neat about that is that they throw their different interpretations on. You see what you think is Chuck Berry, that's the only way it can be played, and you hear all these other ways that it's played. That's so neat. So I'm just giving you another look at this, and you all know I tend to think lyrically, and so I figured that's what I would do just as a first take on this. You don't have to do that. You can bend away, but know where you are. You're going. I mean, just those chords are. Dun, 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 D minor, 2, then C, B flat, A, and then we go to that very lyrical F chord that I played it, to the, and that's where I ended up here. And the next would be the B minor, and then to the D minor, back to the C, and then C C to B minor, and then back to the D minor where it goes. Dun, 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 that part. So know where you are, where those chords are, and that gives you a great deal of possibilities, particularly on something like this. You can just roll through that any way that you want, as long as you end up able to get that F note. When that comes in, when that F chord comes in, and then be able to run down. It doesn't have to be that run. I just arpeggiate it, which you hear he does it frequently. Just arpeggiated that chord. Grab this ninth here. And then, went to the third. I'm playing the F major chord, do, re, mi, F, an F major chord, major scale, or the beginning of a F major pentatonic, however you want to look at it. And then he just, our works is, you come up clearly to a C chord right there. And then it's going to go to the B flat. You can work out that yourself if you want, but I'll show you next week. Okay, so that gives you something to say, oh yeah, I could do some other things with those chords and go some other places. All right, deep dive. Have a good week. Bye now.